Living cheaper is one piece of the puzzle. The Bible tells us that Abraham was looking for a city, and Jesus didn't even have a pillow to lay his head on. A place to call home. While on earth is all I want. I've often thought that it would be nice to head for the National Forest and simply build my own cabin, or find a cave and just live. But someone, the DNR, the Park Service, the Zoning Board, who knows who, but I'm sure that someone would eventually find me and charge me with trespassing, vagrancy, or something. So I, like you, have tried to do it the legal, American dream way. This is idiotic. Car and house payments, monthly rent, and the old beaters that I'm constantly busting my knuckles on. These are just a few things that prove I haven't got enough time or money. It doesn't matter what job one has, because if you want $50,000 a year to live on, you need to make $100,000 a year so the IRS can take its half. The marriage tax penalty is another kick in the teeth. Now let's talk about owning a home. Let's say that I buy a $100,000 house on 1 acre of land, and over the next 30 years I pay that property off. Yeah, now I'm told I own my house outright. Well, here in Michigan, my home, now that I own it outright, will be worth $200,000 or more. My property tax will be $6,000 a year. Now, for the rest of my life, or until I fall behind on my property tax, I will be paying the equivalent of $500 a month. Basically, the state of Michigan lets me pretend that it's my house. Yeah, I know, we all have to do our part. Let's not talk about that illogical, for the buyer, that illogical 30-year whacked-out interest plan. The only viable option that I see is to own a piece of land with a 30-year-old trailer on it, and the land needs to be way out in the middle of nowhere. This temporary house will have its own well and septic system, and the whole thing will be worth $10,000. Now one's property tax is $300 a year, or $25 a month, or $5.77 a week. Now, a $7 an hour income is more than enough to live high on the hog. Another way to live like a king is to buy beef directly from a local farmer. Your $6 per pound store-bought beef is now $1.50 per pound, and this beef is much higher quality. By the way, if one is to live high on the hog, this lifestyle has no room for things like tobacco, cable TV, alcohol, and gambling. Another downside for most Americans is medical and dental care will need to be left behind. But as we are at the very end of the church age, one is going to be required to take the mark of the beast to participate in the modern world we now live in. There will be no buying or selling if you haven't got the mark. I've pretty much shown a way to live quite comfortably, but rest assured that you will eventually make someone mad. The Boy Scouts will show up wanting $30 for a pound of popcorn, all in the name of fundraising. Or maybe a local farmer or a government agency will decide that they want your land. Who knows? Remember the Pilgrims, how they finally found a home, and within a few years civilization took care of their dreams? God's people are merely pilgrims in an unholy land, and they are only passing through. It doesn't seem to matter anymore. The earthly and Christians alike seem willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want, and their knuckles have turned white as they try to hold on to what they have left, because all of us now see that it's over. With that said, Satan and his earthly system and the Lord God allow all people to receive the things of this world. The Lord God blesses, punishes, and judges everyone for our own good, hoping to open our eyes. Satan and his earthly system uses us all, giving us earthly blessings designed to take us from the Lord God. But regardless of Satan's reason, when he is done using us, he takes everything back, leaving us half dead, beaten, and bleeding to death. This is a terrible place to be in for Satan's people, because the Lord God and his people can do very little to help the lost. We all choose the king of our lives, and we end up sleeping in the beds we ourselves made. But the Lord God never leaves or forsakes his people. The righteous never beg. So when we walk with this world's blessings, such as homes, land, cars, and money, we may never know if Satan blessed us or God blessed us. But all things end, and whether Satan blessed us or God blessed us, when it's time to let the things of this world go, we better let them go. The Lord God will house, feed, and clothe his people, and Satan's people inevitably persecute the called out ones by taking their homes, food, clothing, and lives. The just shall live by faith.